Sonic 3 was at least a solid 8 out of 10.
I think I actually agree with that. So welcome to we're going to call this movie review. We're reviewing Sonic 3. We just got done watching it. It's kind of a new thing that we're going to do instead of doing an entire episode dedicated to every movie we watched. I kind of just wanted to chat about each individual movie after we get done watching them, just so we can give each movie its own due justice. So I guess we'll start off with non-spoiler review. I think, yeah, like you said,
I don't know, what is there to spoil in that movie?
I guess
because I'm gonna be honest, if you play Sonic Adventure 2, it's not
pretty.
It's pretty similar.
It's pretty similar to how the game goes. Yeah, it probably is about like an 8.5 out of 10. It's definitely better than the other two movies. It's probably the best one out of the
three.
So far.
Out of the three, I would agree, but I guess I don't want to go into our critiques yet. But like overall, I guess I want to say the critiques for later, but I guess like a major gripe of mine, it feels a bit too childish.
It was definitely very jokey.
Hold on, wait. Good analogy. It felt very Hallmark, at least at the beginning. I felt a lot of Hallmark energy. I was like, am I just watching a movie with my mother right now? Like a lot of it seemed very like, how do I put this? Like a lot of the early dialogue with Sonic and what's the guy's actor's name? Tom, the character Tom. It seemed very, I don't know, seemed like very, I know it's a kid's movie, but like it didn't seem very poetic. It felt like very bland and up to your face at the very beginning, which I'm okay with. I get it. It's not supposed to be like Shakespeare or something, but I'm just all like, okay.
Well, I think that did set the tone of the movie, though. Like it set where the morals were going to be for what like the message the movie was trying to give, which I think that's like a big thing that I would give to the benefit of the movie is it actually has like a good moral message.
Yes.
Like then again, it's the same message that Sonic Adventure 2 does give in the game, but also I think it does it a little better than it does in the game. Like it's a little more clear on what they're trying to say.
What do you think it was trying to say? I'm just curious.
Basically, it's just like letting go of the pain in return for a better tomorrow. Like you don't have to live with your suffering and regrets when you can push forward and look towards a better future.
Very indomitable human spirit. I was getting that vibe too. I think maybe I don't feel it as heavy as you, because I felt like, I guess, spoilers, but not really. But like Shadow's in the movie, of course he is.
Yeah,
but like
you know.
It like, but he's like not there. We were talking about on the car ride here, but it's just like he's not. I don't get a monologue from Shadow. That's what I'm basically trying to say. I think like one decent monologue, and I would have been like, peak fiction.
And like I said, we
got a backstory.
That's
but not
still
a monologue.
very accurate to how the game actually was, because I did replay Sonic Adventure 2 right before watching the movie, and it's basically like Shadow's not really in that game that much, other than like to push the narrative forward. So in a sense, Shadow is still kind of used as like his character is a plot device to mirror Sonic. And I think they do a good job at that in this movie, of how they're basically parallels of each other, which is pretty much, I think that was like the entire purpose of the movie, is to show the two parallels of what a person can be, and like how one small error or large error can change a person's view on the world and change them as a person. But yeah, I think the only thing I would say that does bring this movie a little lower than like being extremely good is, like you said, it is very like goofy. Or like the game you play it and it's goofy, but it takes itself seriously.
This movie doesn't. Okay, I'll let you talk because I'm full of spoilers. Because in the spoiler part, I'll go like most of my criticisms are just basically
it's
spoilers.
for like
So I'll let you keep going.
But pretty much, yeah, it's just like I also have a KO.
Oh,
I wish the KOs were Chow.
they were in the movie, by the way.
They're in the movie, but they're not in the movie in a way that's like lore accurate.
Fair enough.
Which sucks, but I don't think that really, like, looking at it from like a outside perspective for somebody who has never seen Sonic wouldn't know the difference between that KO Garden and what the actual KO Garden's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't think that brings down the movie at all. Like, that doesn't change the plot. But I think overall, plot-wise, it does throughout the movie, I think, get cut off by the goofy moments, which is why, like, honestly, this would be probably... I still really enjoyed it. Like, don't get me wrong. But I do think the goofy moments did undercut a lot of the serious stuff that happened throughout.
So can we go into spoilers now?
Well, let's spend a little more time non-spoiler, and then we'll get into spoilers.
Okay, I guess to give my good bits. It feels consistent. I think for the most part. I think all the characters are just like the ones that were shown previous in the other movies. I think
it's
are all good.
definitely
And for the love of God, whoever was able to make it happen, it was just mostly the Sonic movie.
Yes.
We got no people.
There is no outside characters interfering with what the actual story was. Like, there's no side plot. You were just focused on what Sonic and them were doing, which very good. That was a very good choice.
That's a problem a lot of Godzilla fans have with some versions of the Godzilla franchise's movies where it's just like, why is it the human hour? I'm here for the giant lizard, and I won't lie. At least with Sonic, that's not the case, and especially with this one. I think if you were to do like a time stamp or like time comparison of the human like minutes, I think this movie is like significantly less human oriented or like human side plot oriented. Like they're there to push the plot along, but for the most part, it is Sonic versus Eggman versus what is Dr. Robotnik's grandpa's name again? I totally forgot.
Gerald
Robotnik.
Gerald Robotnik. I think that's something that's very good in the movie too. Is everybody like? Looks like everybody was having fun acting in that movie.
Yes.
Especially Jim Carrey. If you, like, I think this needs to be emphasized. I think I've read reviews talking about it, that if you're a Jim Carrey fan, you will have fun watching this movie because he does his thing.
I won't say spoilers, but it genuinely feels like he brought out the Grinch for this movie.
Oh my God.
And I genuinely feel like this is probably his last.
It was a mix of Grinch and Scrooge.
Would I say Scrooge?
His Gerald Robotnik voice is definitely Scrooge.
Yes, that I would agree with.
Like, that's Scrooge and Robotnik is the Grinch.
Yes. At least in terms of like...
Eggman's the Grinch, I should say.
Not in character, but like...
how he personifies.
Yes. It's the personification / like the body acting. It's very... I don't know if that was purposely done with him or like they came in with it like, this is his last movie. Yeah. Let's see if we can get the highlight. I think there might be like some meta contextual stuff here. Not pun not intended with my YouTuber name, but like with him like... I'd have to go through the movie again to see it, but like genuinely it does feel like he's going through like all of his previous acting roles in a way,
and that's probably
his skills.
That's probably what brought him to this movie is the fact that they gave him a script that allowed him to be two characters, let him show off like everything that he is known for.
Oh yeah, and
like the stuff he enjoys about acting. So I think him especially had a good time in this movie. And I think Keanu did do a good job. Like Shadow wasn't really in the movie as much as probably a lot of people would want, but the parts that he is in are very good.
Yes.
I think that they do a very good job.
I don't
with
think
Shadow.
there was a time within it where I was like, Jim Carrey.
Or you could like a part where you thought that maybe an actor or voice actor might have phoned it in. Because even Idris Elba, and any line with Knuckles is like good.
Yeah, no, it was,
like he did a good job.
I actually I paid attention to that, and it genuinely felt like Idris, like Elba was just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't have a lot of lines, which was probably also done on purpose. I feel like there's a how do I put this?
Well, I think that specifically is probably done to change the focus. Like the focus isn't specifically on Tails and Knuckles; it's about Sonic
and Shadow.
So of course Sonic's gonna have more lines than anyone else. I guess kind of moving into spoiler territory.
Can I rip it to shreds?
I have two things to say in terms of going into spoiler territory. One, I do like that they actually made Tails useful in the movie. Like he actually was
That's
not
a critique.
Well, it's not a critique. I guess it kind of is, but he was like actually useful to the plot. Like he actually did something. So I thought that was good. But moving into spoiler territory is I do like Colby might disagree with a lot of my opinions on this, but I actually do really like the relationship they showed between Shadow and Maria. Like they actually did a good job showing that off. Because I literally just read up on the lore of that, like Maria showing up on the Ark, which isn't really an Ark in the movie. It's just a research station.
Yeah.
So that's completely different from the game.
Weren't they on the moon the entire time in Sonic Adventure 2?
In Sonic Adventure 2, they're in the Eclipse Cannon is actually an entire space colony called Ark.
Yeah.
That they have in space to be able to do like research to try and like find cures to disease and like help progress humanity and like save people's lives, which is why Maria's up there, because she has like a autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
So she's up there because the low gravity actually helps her.
Is that scientifically
function.
accurate? Does low gravity help with autoimmune disease?
Well, I know, like, I can't remember, because I know she's in like a wheelchair if she's on Earth, but in the colony she's able to walk fine. So the low gravity, like, I guess isn't as much pressure on her. So I think that's kind of the logic they went with.
No fucking shot, really? I didn't know that.
But anyway, I thought they did a very good job with Shadow and Maria's kind of backstory.
She wasn't gunned down.
She wasn't gunned down. She was not gunned down.
No.
I think they probably did that because they knew people would cheer if they saw a child getting gunned down.
Okay, but if
so
anything,
they made it actually dramatic in the movie.
I think it's actually worse because at least the one I'm remembering, it's is it the gun agent that
the gun agent.
The gun agent shows up, pulls out his Glock, he starts firing.
Yeah.
But it's only like one shot. She gets shot once, dies immediately. But can we go into, we're in spoiler territory?
Yeah, spoilers.
So Maria dies in this movie by explosion.
They blow her up.
Yeah, so misfire into dude, it is so crazy. Shockingly, I don't know if the Johnny Silverhand like message came through, but the general of AIM, or at least the head director of it, I don't think was gun made when Shadow was taken, right?
Yeah.
I guess he was just like captain. He wasn't like the head of it. But before he became the head of AIM, I forgot his name. He was like, no, don't shoot the child, the super hedgehog, and the doctor. And then it's like, we have our orders to eliminate them. First off, who the fuck ordered to kill the researchers? I can argue maybe for Eggman, but why were we doing that? Second off, misfiring into the explosion and killing basically everyone but like 3 people, maybe 4, and that is genuinely insane. Like even in like Sonic Adventure 2, it's still crazy, but like in this movie, it's just, what the hell?
Well, even in game lore, like it's not that explained why they just decided to kill
Really?
everyone on the ark. Like, it's not really like, the only thing that they really say is that they shut it down due to something to do with the Black Arms, which are the people, like an alien race who wants to take over the universe, who created Shadow in the first place and helped Gerald with the experiments in the game. They don't show up in the movie, but kind of hinted at.
Sort of implied?
Kind of implied, but anyway, it's just kind of weird. Like, it's just not explained at all.
Not at all.
They do not explain that in movie or like. Yeah,
like they kind of do for Shadow. It's like Shadow's just some leftover, but I'm like, wait a minute. Why are we executing people?
Why are we executing
because even during Shadow's like backstory, not when Maria dies, they're like, he was just some leftover. Let's put him in a tank. So you knew you couldn't kill him. So why are you just executing them? And even then, I don't know if this is a plot hole or a miss element. What was the chick's name? The I forgot her name. She worked for Gunn. She wanted the other power card or whatever.
Oh, I don't remember her name.
Caleb and Post, find her actress. This is what she looks like or whatever. Mark Smith. She wanted the other card for the deadly space laser for some reason. Not explained. So I think there's an overall like anti-government theme throughout this entire movie.
I think that probably is what it comes down to. Like, Gunn is just to represent the government.
Okay, my second question. Is that why they're named Gunn? Is it just to say they're just low-key the bad guys?
Pretty much. I mean, in the game, Gunn is basically just the CIA in the game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically, like, the whole thing is basically just, in my eyes, just a critique on how the government operates.
Didn't know Sega was based.
It's pretty much like they're conducting crazy experiments, and when it goes wrong, they take none of the blame.
They don't. They really don't.
They literally only blame, I think, both in universe and in the movie and in the games. They only put the blame on Gerald Robotnik, even though like they literally were pressuring him into doing this stuff.
Yeah, I won't.
I guess that there's another critique there is Gerald doesn't really get, like, he's not shown to be justified in his thinking.
Also in this movie either. Like,
well, he is in the game. Like, well, I guess not in the game, but in the overarching lore of the games, which I just read last night, is that he literally, or in Sonic X Shadow Generations, if you get the pages of his journal, you find out that they were basically, he was being pressured by the Black Arms, the evil aliens, and Gunn to create crazy weapons of war, which he didn't want to do. And when it all went wrong, the government blamed it all on him after killing his granddaughter.
Sonic lore is interesting.
Yeah.
But like story-wise, like it's a good story. It's just Sonic Adventure 2 with like some changed details.
Yeah.
However, getting into critiques that, I personally have, and Caleb does have too. We said it in the car, but
we're talking about this. I think I know which one you're going with.
So there's a scene in the movie, right? It's the last 30 minutes. You all know what happened in this movie. If it's Sonic Adventure 2, you know the most iconic scene in I would argue the entire Sonic franchise. In gaming, it's very popular.
It's up there in the most iconic moments of gaming to ever exist.
Like Master Chief coming, fucking flanking around the corners in the flood mission, or John Marston getting shot or something, and like Arthur dying. Like, it's up there. It's when Sonic and Shadow team up to defeat the giant space laser. They do that. They do that in this movie, right?
They do the freaking
the pose. They do the pose.
They do the Predator homie grab on each other's hands as the Chaos Emeralds swirl around them, and they turn in their super forms, and it starts playing Live and Learn. And it's so hype.
It's genuinely hype.
It's probably like genuinely, I could feel my heart rate accelerating from how hype it was. I had a smile
on my face.
And then they cut the music to Eggman getting spanked by Gerald Robotnik for betraying him, I guess. Like it's very Jim Carrey goofy, but man, does that
so out of place.
Does that blow the wind out of the sails of how hyped that moment
Because immediately
was.
right afterwards too, they go into like a critical. Okay, this is how I'm going to explain what my thought is, but then I'm going to come back to it. So they have that scene, right? He's getting spanked. Eventually, they have a little fight, and then they jump cut back to Sonic and Shadow kicking ass, and it's a really cool scene.
It's really
Genuinely,
good.
I think I recognize the animation style because it was just so fluid and dynamic. It was a really cool fight. Genuinely awesome. But it feels like an abridged episode of Dragon Ball Z. That entire sequence feels like Goku versus Frieza from Team 4-Star, and then they jump cut to Bulma drinking water or making some joke. I think it happens during like in one of the later episodes, like right before they jump cut to season 2 or whatever. And like Goku and Frieza, they're making their quips. Of course, it's an abridged series that they're fighting. But then all of a sudden, it jump cuts to Bulma just making these weird comments and then back to fighting. And like it works there because they're trying to give you breathing room. Because there's nothing that happens with Bulma that's funny. It's just like, I wonder what everybody else is doing. And then it's just gut punch Frieza. But in this case, it's Sonic and Shadow have finally teamed up. They've realized, man, we were being dicks.
Maybe we are homies.
Maybe we are homies. Maybe we need to change our ways and say sorry, which I think is a life lesson we should all learn. It's a very good one.
Honestly, the dialogue between Sonic and Shadow right before they team up is very good.
Yes, very good. But then it just jump cuts to like first grade humor, and I'm all like, what are we doing here?
You should have done that before the emotional scene.
And note, going back to the Jim Carrey comment about him with his acting skills and how it's kind of like a little bit of a love letter to him with his gold inked script. He has those jokes beforehand. Yeah. So putting it into this crucial moment is kind of weird.
Yeah.
If anything, you know what I would have done? I would have just jump cut to Tom and his wife, and like maybe Tom wakes up and is like, "Oh, what happened? We're Sonic," and then we go into the fight because they've been like, "Oh, Tom's okay. Time to kick ass."
Yeah.
So it's really weird. I don't know why they did that.
Like it's like, and I wouldn't even say to remove the scene, but it's just such a weirdly placed
You could have put the spanking scene and then the fight between them after Sonic and Shadows. I don't know why.
Like,
very weird decision.
It's just odd. Like, that's probably my only complaint about the movie is that scene is just specifically strangely placed. I don't know. Like, if you watch the movie, and I'm sure a lot of you probably will or have, when you see this scene, you will understand it is just so strange. Like, the only reason I could think that they do that, the only reason is because they had to cut Live and Learn playing just so they could save money on the licensing for that. That's the only reason I could think that they would do a cut like that between those scenes. Because if they kept it like dramatic, they'd probably have to continue playing the song the whole time.
But a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it was very enjoyable. I think most people, Sonic fans and not Sonic fans, will enjoy watching this movie. I think there's something for everybody to enjoy, to be honest. Like, it's not like the greatest movie I've ever seen. I'll say, like, as a Sonic fan, I really enjoyed it, but it's definitely not like the craziest movie. I still might say, though, probably my favorite movie of the year. I think it's a very fun watch. Like, it's like the same feelings I had for Deadpool and Wolverine, where it's a movie that you can just sit there and watch at any point in time. It's a good sit down, and it's a popcorn movie. It's a good popcorn movie that I think people of all ages can enjoy. And yeah, overall, solid movie. I'd give it a solid 85%.
Yeah.
I think Rotten Tomatoes the initial critics had the right idea.
Yeah, they got it right.
They got it right. I think that's a pretty fair score, 85, 86. So yeah, that's our Sonic Movie 3 review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I guess if you have movie recommendations for us to do reviews on, just let us know in the comments. But that's it. See you guys for the next video. Peace out.